You're listening to 772 Sports, a local Treasure Coast sports podcast highlighting everything from Little League to the NFL. Here are your hosts, Curtis Carpenter and Mike Higgins. All right, everybody, welcome to the very first episode of 772 Sports, your local sports podcast. I'm Curtis Carpenter. I'm here with Mike Higgins. How are you, buddy?
Good, man. Excited.
All right, this is fun. This is our first one. I have a podcast that I do for my company. Mike and I started talking about doing we started talking about doing a sports podcast.
Yep.
And I said, well, what'll separate this from every other sports cast? We started talking about the local aspect of it. So high school football, high school baseball, even Little League. I'm excited to get into all that stuff.
Yep.
So, of course, we're going to talk about the NFL. We'll talk about Major League Baseball, when NBA season comes, NHL, all that. But we also want to throw a little local twist to it and talk about high school stuff and even maybe middle school. I mean, you've got a kid playing middle school baseball and a Little League and all that. So anyway, that's just a little intro into what we want to do with this podcast. Again, this is the very first episode, so bear with us through the stumbling blocks. And you have anything you want to add to that, Mike?
No, man, I'm excited. I think this is something we've talked about for a few years. Just decided to get it cranking. So
yeah, well, and again, for the people listening and don't know who we are, which I don't know if anybody will listen that doesn't know who we are, but if you do, it's funny because I think we're going to work pretty well together on this because we both follow kind of different things. So Mike is a big college football guy. I watch it, I follow it, but I'm not getting into recruiting and all that. I watch every single NFL game. Literally every single game is on.
Yeah.
We both follow Major League Baseball pretty well. Mike follows the NBA pretty closely. So this ought to be a lot of fun. So anyway, yeah, so that's it. That's the first segment, and we're going to move on to the NFL.
NFL time.
Here we go. Next up, Chalk Talk. All right, the first segment, Chalk Talk. Here we are. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL, which actually won't start until September the 8th, I think?
Yeah,
7th, the 8th?
Sounds right. Yeah, that Thursday.
Okay, but I'm sure most of you people out there are either drafting your fantasy teams or have drafted. I know I've done 3. How many are you in, Mike?
I'm in 2 now and about to start another one, so 3 as well.
All right, so 6 fantasy teams between us all. We'll try to give you some advice. I don't know. I don't know if you want any advice from me, but so traditionally, I always look for a running back in the first round. If I get that first 3 or 4 picks in there, of course, I'm a Colts fan, so JT is who I'm looking for if I get the first pick. Who's your first overall if you're going?
I think even though he's questionable injury-wise, I'm always a Christian McCaffrey guy if he's there. You can't beat that running, passing, catching, all that he does.
If you get him in 17 games healthy, I think he's better than Henry. I think he's better than Taylor. I just don't know if he's going to get 17 games in him.
Especially PPR. I mean, it's big to have him in PPR. I mean, even though he played like a half of the season last season, there was 3 or 4 games where he had 10 catches.
Now, does Baker Mayfield change the equation there?
I like Baker.
Yeah?
I like Baker. I like him better. Who did they have?
Darnold,
yeah. He beat out Darnold. I like him a lot better than that. I think you got to watch them guys for the playoffs maybe.
Wow.
For the wild card.
Carolina out of the NFC South. I like it. I mean, we're doing predictions next podcast.
We are.
But that is a bold pick.
We brought up the quarterbacks. I like Baker a lot. I think he's going to do a lot for that team.
Okay.
And that's all hinges on Christian McCaffrey staying healthy too. If he's out, they got no shot.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, exactly. Who's the backup running back? Do you know? I don't even know.
I don't either.
Yeah, well, that tells you how important he is.
Yeah, right. I think last year, did they have Mike Davis last year?
I don't know.
It was Mike Davis, I think.
I couldn't tell you 5 Panthers players right now. Yeah. Is Kelvin Benjamin still on the team?
I think so.
No way.
That's your Knoll guy.
No way. That's right.
You don't know where he's at?
No, I think he's retired. I think he's selling insurance right now. All right. So okay. So your first pick would be McCaffrey. Mine would have been Taylor.
Yep.
I fell down the line in all 3 of my drafts. I was 6, 7, 8. Where did you end up picking in your 2 that you've already done?
The two we have not done yet. We've not drafted in them yet.
Okay.
They're keeper leagues. We draft the Sunday before the season starts.
Okay.
And they all go off previous seasons. So one I'm pretty early, one I'm pretty late.
Gotcha. I got some of those second tier running backs in that 6, 7, 8 tier there, which isn't so bad in a snake draft because it comes back around and I'm able to get a good receiver or somebody.
Well, I saw the one that you've been in forever. The team you posted on there looked
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
solid. I don't know how you got that team.
Yeah, that was fun. So it's a 10-person team. That's why, 10-man teams, for those of you that don't really understand how this goes, and if you don't, I don't know why you're listening to this. But, if you don't understand how it works, 10-man team, I mean, you just got 10 guys. You go 1 through 10, and then 11 through 20.
Yep.
It's kind of reverted. But, I believe my first pick was Najee Harris, which I think I had at the 6th spot. Then it came back around. I got Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
And then I don't know where it went from there, but I either got Josh Jacobs or Lamar Jackson. I must have gone Jacobs. And then Jack. So I got a pretty good little running back squad there.
And getting Lamar too. Fourth or fifth round, you got him.
Yeah, he was later than I expected him to go. I don't know why that is. Like, I look at this guy. This is a contract year for him, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, wait a minute, this guy's gonna have to show out if he wants to get paid.
Yeah.
So.
And he's gonna get paid.
Yeah.
That guy's nasty.
Yeah, man. So he can really turn a team into a contender.
Yeah, man. So, do you have any fantasy sleepers that you want to give the good folks?
If you, being a Colts fan, my big sleeper is if anything happens to Jonathan Taylor, and even if something doesn't, I think Nyheim Hines is the guy.
Yeah.
And again, another Colt. I'm telling you right now, Alec Pierce is going to show out. Alec Pierce will have 65 catches this year. Talk about bold prediction. You got the Panthers in the playoffs. I have Alec Pierce getting 65 plus catches.
Wide receiver. Do you know where he came from?
I don't remember the school. It was the Colts' first pick. It was in the 2nd round, and he is an incredibly fast white receiver. Which I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. But for some reason I can't remember the school that he went to. But he's going to do pretty well, man. I think.
Yeah, it's good. I think I like Trey Lance this year to make some noise.
He went high in one of my drafts, and I thought, man, I don't know why he's going so high, but for whatever reason, people are high on him.
He's going to get a ton of rushing yards, I think.
Well, he's got a lot of weapons around him.
Yeah.
Ayuk. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's a sleeper.
Well, Debo is.
Yeah.
Debo's nasty.
Yeah.
You throw a pass behind the line, could get you 60 or 70 yards. So
is that yards after catch if you catch it behind the line of scrimmage? Does that count?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. Any other sleepers? Anybody you're looking to get in year 2? Like, is there anybody you got to have, or do you not want to release that because?
Well,
the next podcast will come out after your draft, so go for it. I guess this one will come out before then.
Well, I'm like I said, I just named my guy. I'm looking to snag Trey Lance in both my leagues.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with either one of my quarterbacks.
How high are you willing to go to get Lance?
They're keeper leagues, so we're already kind of in like the 4th or 5th round of our, you know what I mean, when we're drafting. So I think depending on what running backs are there, because on one of them I have Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson.
So nobody took Lance last year and has him as a keeper?
No.
Wow. So he's going to go early.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
but I'm a top 4 pick, I think. So
okay. So how does yours go? If you finished at the bottom, you get the top pick?
Yep. And and we still do snake though.
Okay.
To make it fair.
Gotcha. Here's another guy, a receiver that I have as a sleeper, and I'm just going through my fantasy leagues now. This is Amon-Ra St. Brown for the Lions.
Yeah, I like him.
If you've got any faith at all in Jared Goff, any at all, I mean, this guy's going to get a ton of catches for you. But
I guess we'll kind of go up. What do you think about Adams going to the Raiders? Is going to help or hurt him?
From Hall of Fame quarterback to Hall of Fame quarterback.
Right.
You remember that statement?
Yeah.
He says, when you go from one Hall of Fame quarterback to another.
Right.
I'm like, is Derek Carr going to be a Hall of Famer? Listen, I think that he's a top 5 receiver in the league, maybe top 3. And he's got a really good quarterback throwing him the ball. I see it going well. How my question is always, how well will the running back complement the passing game?
Yeah.
And Josh Jacobs being there, I think that Adams will do well. I really do.
Well, they have Waller too, right? So that's another.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't.
So you got that tight end coming across the middle, opening up things, going deep.
I think so.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be. The Raiders are going to be really good. Now, here's the problem. AFC West. Yeah. So you're facing the Chiefs, you're facing the Chargers, the Broncos with Russell
are
Wilson
be good
this year. Who knows, man?
Broncos are going to be good.
Yeah. So we've kind of covered the AFC West.
Yep.
And you got the Panthers, I guess, going 15-2 and winning the NFC South. Is that what I heard?
Not all that. They're going to squeak into the wild card, but
all right.
I think I like the move the Dolphins made too. If we want to go.
Yeah. We'll just go down the divisions. Sure.
Tyreek Hill is going to be.
I like this new coach, man.
I'm
not a Dolphin fan.
He's good, man.
I'm not a Dolphin fan, so I'm not saying that out of because I'm playing Homer.
Yeah,
man, I like the guy, man.
Yeah, no, I am a Dolphin fan, and it's good to finally see. I mean, I think between Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Chase Edmond, I don't know of a faster threesome. If you look, they're all 4-2 guys, 4-3 guys.
So the $1 billion question. Can Tua get the ball downfield to these
we'll
guys?
see, man. You see what Tyreek's saying about him, how he's the most accurate quarterback he's ever played with. So we'll see. We'll see how he is down the field. It's his arm strength, his accuracy when throwing it far. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, that's always been the knock on him, right? Is that, he can't get it 40, 50 yards downfield.
Yeah.
But again, when you have speed like that, maybe you send two guys deep, you got one guy short, you get him the ball, and then he just goes. I mean, what Hill did in Kansas City, I think, was so underrated. I mean, Tyreek Hill is one of the most electric players I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I put Barry Sanders at the top of that list, and Hill might be 2.
Yeah.
Deion Sanders probably 2 or 3. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm really, really, really high on this guy.
Yeah.
If you can get him the ball, especially if you can get him the ball in open space, forget about it. So, they're going to have to run some schemes and figure out some ways to get him the ball with some some yardage around him where he can make things happen. But if they can.
And I think with Waddle and Chase Edmonds, I mean, and Mike Gesicki, there's some
that offense could be scary.
It could be.
Yeah.
But Bills are nasty. I mean, they picked up Von Miller, right? So they're looking good.
Bills Mafia.
Yeah.
I still have the Bills winning the East. I mean,
they have to. I think they probably will. I think Dolphins will sniff a wild card spot, but if Josh Allen stays healthy, Stephon Diggs, they're.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is Josh Allen's a top quarterback in the league. Diggs a top wide receiver in the league. I mean, they have a great defense. They got a running game that's virtually unstoppable. I mean, they're contenders for the AFC Championship.
Absolutely.
Forget about just the AFC East. So, you got to play them twice a year. Which is no fun. But yeah, I don't know, man. We'll do predictions before the season starts on our next podcast. But where else do we want to go? So AFC East.
So you want to do a little NFC? Let's talk. You want to talk about the Bucs O-line? That's going to be an issue for the statue back there.
Here's my question. I heard yesterday, let's see, today is the 24th. I heard yesterday on the 23rd, Tom Brady might be considering retirement again. Seriously, I heard this yesterday.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I don't know if that was, here's the problem is you have all these fake accounts everywhere, and who knows if it's true. But with that Bucs O-line, I could see why he might want to consider
his inability to move is going to be a problem.
He's 45, man.
Yeah.
He's 45 years old.
Yeah, he's 4 years older than me. That's a problem.
I'm 38 and I can't move.
When I get out of bed in the morning, it's a problem right now.
Right. And you didn't get sacked 14 times last week. So. We'll see what the Bucs do. I mean, new coach there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, new coach, O-line not looking solid. They still got weapons, though.
They do.
You got Fournette in the backfield. I mean, you got Mike Evans.
Mike Evans, nasty.
You got
Godwin's
guys
going to get healthy.
Yeah, that's right. Chris Godwin.
They're
listen. Let's not fool ourselves. They're going to be good.
Yeah.
Even without Brady, if you got Trask back there, whoever it is, somebody's gonna do well. They're going to be okay, but you need Brady. You need Brady, and
Absolutely.
you need Brady behind a solid line.
Absolutely. I don't know what they're going to do with the O-line, but
so we've got 2 weeks to figure out where they're going to finish in the NFC South. But
we'll do that next week. So kind of one more NFC. What do you? So on the flip side of the Adams thing, who's Rodgers going to throw to?
I've always had this philosophy that quarterbacks make receivers don't make quarterbacks.
Sure.
So I think, and that used to be my philosophy in Denver too with running backs. It was the O-line made the running back. The running back didn't make the O-line. So my thing is Aaron Rodgers, if you got a guy that runs sloppy routes, Rodgers will fix it. He'll figure it out. He's going to get guys balls.
Yeah.
So, is it Lazard? Is that the guy that's like he's the guy in Green Bay now?
Right.
I don't know. But Rodgers might get him 100 catches.
Yep. Yeah.
So whoever it is, it is. I mean, Rodgers is, in my opinion, a top 5 of all time quarterback. I think he's probably skill-wise is the best quarterback in the league right now.
Yep.
He'll figure it out. I wouldn't be too worried about it if I'm a Green Bay fan.
Yeah, for sure. So I had one last thing to cover on the NFL, and that's what are your thoughts on the preseason? Because I think it's maybe the stupidest thing. Having 4 or 5 games in the preseason is...
Well, I think they cut it to 3, didn't they?
Is it 3 now?
Wait, when they went to 17 games, I think they cut a preseason game.
Okay.
But I think 2 teams play 4 games.
The Hall of Fame game is the week before.
Listen, I've watched every Colts game since 1998.
Yep.
Okay. I usually don't watch preseason, but I watched it Saturday.
Yep.
And... not a single starter was in the game. I was watching DBs because the secondary has been a problem for the Colts in the past few years, and their second-team secondary sucked. So I'm like, okay, well, I learned that I don't want anybody to get hurt, but I don't know if the first-team secondary sucks.
I think preseason just because of the injuries, man. Just watching Zach Wilson get hurt, non-contact. Really, I guess ideally not ideally, but that actually could have happened during practice since it was non-contact anyway, but. I watched Kevon Thibodeau get hurt this weekend for the Giants, and it's just like...
Yeah, but I mean, so how do you prepare for the regular season is my question. So if you don't have preseason games, like Rigoberto Sanchez, the punter for the Colts, he tore his ACL in practice yesterday doing sprints.
Yeah.
Like, well, okay. Well, I mean, listen, you can get hurt doing anything.
Sure.
I think that there's a thin line between not enough preparation for the regular season and too much.
Right.
And I think that's where they teeter on that 3 and 4 games. You know, and most NFL teams they play kind of between the 2 and 3 game preseason.
Right.
You know, like again, the Colts are really effectively having 2 preseason games.
Right.
You know, the game against the Lions last week was trash. So I think the answer to that question is go to NFL teams, go to coaches. Now I'm not talking about front office guys, because you know, or ownership, because they want as many preseason games as possible. I'm talking about go to the Reichs of Frank Reichs, and go to the the whoever else. I mean, for some reason I can't think of any other NFL head coaches off the top of my head.
Mike McDaniel,
Andy Reid. Go to somebody and say, how many games do you need to prepare your team for the regular season? And I think what you do, and this is kind of wild, is you pair these teams up. So if Andy Reid says, hey, I only need 2 games, you pair him with another team and you play two games against that team. Go. And then or find another, couple of teams that can only play 2. If somebody might want 3, somebody might want 4, somebody might want 5. There's got to be a couple teams that want 5. So anyway, what I'm getting at is I think you can customize a preseason schedule based on however many games the team thinks they need, and then go.
Sure. So make preseason a length instead of a length of games. Make it you have 5 weeks for preseason. You do what you want with it. Yeah.
Yeah. How many do you want? Andy Reid, you want 5 games? Okay, fine. We'll get you 5 games.
2 at the end, something like that. Yeah.
Bruce Arians is not in the league anymore. But anyway, Bruce, you want 3? Okay, we'll get you 3.
Yeah.
It's foolish to me to say, okay, well, every team's got to do 3 games, because again, some people don't want 3, some want 2, some might want 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So like what the Colts did was they got with the Lions last week, and they had 3 days of games. They did like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. That's why they played all their secondary guys or their second string guys, because they had just played 3 games, in the week. So they wanted more prep. Anyway, preseason's a joke. Anyway.
Yeah.
I hate the season ticket holders with that.
I hate seeing guys get injured in the preseason. It's terrible. I realize they need some ramping up period, but
well, again, the answer is don't play them then.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want your guys to get hurt, don't play them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's what I got for preseason.
Yeah, I had one more. I want 10 seconds or 5 seconds. So how are you feeling about Matt Ryan? Yeah.
One word.
He's going to be good.
It's not love. Keep that in mind. I like him. Time will tell.
Yep.
And I'll go into a little depth here. Again, Colts fan, watched every game for 25 years or whatever. I've seen I literally watched every snap of Peyton Manning's career with the
I'm a
Colts.
huge Matt Ryan guy. Love him.
So here's what I like. I like that he came in and he started telling people what they were going to do.
Right.
You're going to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. Some people might say, oh, well, new guy, this and that. No, man, I want that leadership. You've got a very young receiving core. You got a very young backfield, relatively young offensive line. I like having the leader there. Now, do I wish he was 10 years younger? Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not excited about a 38-year-old guy, in the back, back there again.
Did he sign a 1-year or 2-year?
I can't remember. I think it was a 2-year.
Yeah, probably 2.
But I mean, that's going to take him to the end of his career, most likely. But Phillip Rivers was great. I liked him.
Yeah.
We just didn't have the tools around him. And listen, it was an old man Phillip Rivers. We used to joke, old man River.
Yep.
I don't want an old man Ryan. But I do like the leadership. I like the skill set. We'll see what he does, man.
Yeah.
I'm not upset for sure.
My last NFL question: you just name a name. If you started a franchise today, like you bought a franchise, who would you want your coach to be?
What do I want my coach to be if I started a franchise?
Because I'm going Mike Tomlin all day, every day. I love that guy's stability, what he's done for the Steelers.
You're going to have to give me more than...
Ooh, threw you on the spot.
All right, so here's the deal. He's 1,000,000 years old, but he is the greatest coach of all time. Who am I talking about? Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Listen, I know the guy's, he's at the end of his career and all that, but and he had the greatest quarterback of all time, taking snaps for him, which obviously helps. But if I get one guy, I'm taking him, and I'm hoping that he takes somebody under his wing like he did with McDaniel. We'll see what happens with him, and
yeah.
We'll see.
His coaching tree is
McDaniel pisses me off because he was going to come in for the Colts, and then he said last minute he wasn't, and then we ended up with Reich, who I don't love. Again, I like Reich.
Yeah.
I don't love Reich. But anyway, I'm going Belichick.
All right.
Yeah. About you? Oh, you said
Tomlin.
You take Tomlin.
I'm a big Tomlin. I'm a big fan. I love what he's done for Pittsburgh. I joke with Mikey Young all the time about how much I love him because he's not a fan.
So my youngest son is not a fan, and my brother's not a fan.
Yeah.
And they're both big Steelers
fans.
Yeah. So it's funny that you're not a Steelers fan. You love the guy.
Yeah.
So
seems like all the Steelers don't like him, but all right.
All right, next segment, we're going to talk a little bit about us.
That's it.
772 Sports is brought to you by Vero Beach Social Media, your local digital marketing agency. From Facebook advertising to graphic design to podcast production, Vero Beach Social Media has you covered. Contact them today at 772-999-6636 or visit verobeachsocialmedia.com. All right, in this segment, this will be the only time I think we do this segment, but we're going to talk a little bit about ourselves, who we are, what we do professionally, how we got the idea for this podcast, and all that stuff. So I'll let Mike start. Mike, tell us about yourself.
Okay. So obviously I'm Mike Higgins, born and raised here in Vero. There's not a lot of us around, but I'll be turning 42 this year. Went to Vero Beach High School, so I loved the angle of us covering some Vero Beach High School sports. I work for Dale Sorensen Real Estate. I'm a realtor with my wife. We're a team. She's awesome. Yeah, man, we've been married for 6 years. So we have 5 kids together total, kind of a blended thing. So her 2 youngest kids are now my 2 kids. I adopted them. Their father passed away. And I can't tell you how much it changed my life adopting those kids. So yeah, man, that's a little bit about me. I went to Vero Beach High School, graduated in '99, played a little baseball, a little football, but not very long. Just my freshman year, I was more interested in surfing and girls and doing anything else but going to school at the time. And I look back on that and regret it. But yeah, that's me. My kids are Michaela and Jacob, and then we got Cassidy, Drew, and Brandon, and we got a little grandbaby named Lennox. So Vicky's pretty happy about that. So life's good, man, and I'm happy to be here talking sports with you. We've kicked this around for a while. Glad it's finally happening.
Yeah. So a little bit about myself, Curtis Carpenter. I'm 38. I own a marketing company, Vero Beach Social Media. Like I mentioned before, I do a podcast professionally, and so we had all the equipment, we had all the know-how, and again, I'm a huge sports fan. I've been following sports since I was, 5 years old. Grew up in Vero Beach, moved here when I was 9, went to Vero Beach High School, played football as a freshman, got cut from the baseball team my freshman year, and then I went to work. So I was more interested in making money than trying to figure out how to become an athlete. So this is kind of perfect, I think, for us because we're both like armchair quarterbacks here.
Yep.
Gift of gab and not so much the gift of athletics. But yeah, I've got 3 kids. I got 2 boys, they're 12 and 13, Isaiah and Micah. And then we have a daughter. She's 15 months old, Olivia. And my wonderful wife, we've been married, I don't have to do the math, I guess 5 years. We got married in 2017. And she's supported all of this dumb, stupid shit that I do, which is these podcasts and my business and all this stuff that I guess sort of helps put a roof over our heads. But yeah, she's definitely the anchor of the home. But yeah, I'm super stoked about this podcast. I've never done anything like this for fun. On my professional podcast, I try to make sure it's super professional and we do video and it's got to be right and all that. And this, I just don't care.
Yep.
I hope that we get listeners, but if we don't, whatever, it's fun.
Yeah, it's
and
still
I'm having
fun.
a blast. So
that's it.
Mike may feel different about that, but
no, I'm the same way, man. I feel like I talk Vicky's ear off about sports all the time, and she's a good sport and she loves it and she follows it all with me. But
I have a cold take. Vicky's a bigger Dodger fan than you are.
Well, that's not true. That's not true.
But she definitely follows. She follows them, man.
Oh yeah, it's cool to have a wife that will plan stuff around making sure we're home for Dodger games.
Yep, and mine is the same.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Mike and I are both massive Dodger fans. We're gonna get into Major League Baseball here in a second, but and my wife's the same. She didn't know anything about baseball. She couldn't name 5 teams when we first met, and she could tell you the whole starting lineup, the 5-man rotation for the Dodgers right now. So both, I think I'll speak for both of us when I say that our wives are amazing and. We definitely wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff without him.
I can say for sure that we both married up.
Yeah,
I outkicked my coverage.
I was just gonna say that.
I don't know how or like if she's partly blind or whatever, but
I definitely keep my wife away from the eye doctor.
And I guess growing up here too, since it's about us, I guess I should mention that I know you're the same, but we both grew up around Dodger Town. that was just a huge part of my life growing up, man. Bat boying and
Oh, for sure,
being
yeah.
there.
I mean, afternoons in March. I mean, forget about it. That's you could find me on the backfields,
Yep,
and then
that's it.
you know I got so many stories, and I know you do too. And it'll probably come out in this podcast, especially as baseball season gets into the playoffs and all that.
Yep.
But I'm sure we'll tell some stories about Dodger Town and you know I got stuff about Darryl Strawberry
Yeah,
and
man.
Brett Butler and all these guys.
Yep,
Oh,
I
man.
got a good story about Mike Piazza. We'll share at some point. He really has nothing to do with the story, but he's.
I got a great story about not
Well,
Mike Piazza.
I was,
that I'll
you know,
tell
we're little kids. I'm chasing him around everywhere, and so we'll share it at a later time. But
Yeah.
yeah, I thought that would be fitting to share since that sort of shaped how I am about sports. I mean, we never left during spring training.
Yeah. So I became a Dodger fan because my dad was a Brooklyn Dodger fan and
Yeah.
lived in Connecticut. He moved down here in the 60s or 70s, and not to make a short story too long, but my parents got divorced when I was about 4, and then my mom met this guy who I call my dad.
Yep.
And he's the one that got me into sports when I was about 5. And I remember the very first baseball game I ever watched was the Dodgers-Mets game.
Yeah.
And he said he was going to root for the Dodgers and I would root for the Mets, and this introduced me to gambling. My dad was a big bookie, right? So we bet a quarter on the game, and I thought the Dodgers were the team with the pinstripes. And the actual Dodgers won, and I thought that, I got all confused with it. But anyway, the very first game I ever watched was the Dodger-Mets game. And
That's awesome.
From then it was Dodger Blue, baby. So
That's it.
anyway, so that's a little bit about us. We're going to get into Major League Baseball Around the Horn. Around the Horn. All right, kind of stealing this segment from ESPN a little bit, but Around the Horn, this is our Major League Baseball talk. And again, we will get into local sports and all that in the next segment. But in this one here, we're going to talk Major League Baseball. So, Mike, where do we stand right now? We're 40, 50 games left in the regular season. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Dodgers are best team in baseball, which we love.
Yeah, we're both excited about that. We might talk about that at length. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm good with talking. Wherever you want to start, man. Do you want to start wild card? Do you want to start?
Well, I mean, we're both Dodger fans. Let's talk about the Dodgers. They have the best record in baseball. Heavy favorites right now to win the World Series. As we all know, that doesn't really mean anything. Once
Nope.
you get into the playoffs, it's a crapshoot.
Yep.
But it looks like the Dodgers are going to have home field throughout. I mean, unless something crazy happens, which can. Walker Buehler having UCL surgery yesterday. Kershaw still out.
Yep.
Dustin May coming back. I guess my question is, will the pitching rotation hold up? I mean, a lot of surprises here. Gonsolin, Anderson, you didn't expect these guys to be the workhorses for this rotation. Will they be enough to get the Dodgers through the postseason?
I think so, man. I think the bigger question is going to be, can we get Gratterall and Trinan healthy, man? I think the starters are going to be fine. I love what we get with Andrew Haney too. We're pretty deep with getting May back is huge. I'm just hoping Kershaw can contribute at all the way he's hurting. I saw. Did you see he's maybe ramping up for a rehab assignment?
No, but I guess it's the back acting up again, and I just don't trust people with back issues,
Yeah.
man. It's like that can go at any time.
Yeah.
So I really don't want to. I don't want the Dodgers to put a lot of faith into having Kershaw there. If he's there, great.
Yeah.
And if he can pitch, great. But please have a plan B,
Yeah.
ready to go. The big question mark for the Dodgers. It's funny because there aren't a lot. The only question mark really is closer. Is Kimbrel the guy? Can he do it?
I do not think Kimbrel's the guy.
Me either.
I've loved what I've seen from Evan Phillips in a setup role, but I think it's got to be a committee thing.
Yeah, and I'm fine with making Phillips the closer.
Yeah.
And so then the question becomes, is Kimbrel on the postseason roster? If he's not your closer, is he there? Is he even on the roster?
I don't know, man. You and I have had a lot of late night conversations about how we didn't care for Kenley Jansen as the closer, or I did. I would voice that, how he just would let runners on and he would always get the job done. But man,
Yeah, bend don't break.
Kimbrel's like,
Dude, what's he had? Like 2 clean innings in his
yeah,
whole
it's-
Dodger
it's-
career? This
it's
is not
cr-
good.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's made me miss and appreciate what we had with Kenley a lot more.
Well, let's not get it twisted. Kenley's not having a phenomenal year either. I mean, he's doing okay, but I mean,
He's got like 30 saves, doesn't he?
Yeah, but his ERA's like, I mean,
Yeah.
I think he's
Yeah.
getting like, he's doing what Kimbrel's doing.
A lot of
He's turning
3-run
with-
saves.
Yeah, 3 runs and winning by 1.
Yeah.
And that's a save, which, again, the save statistic, win statistic, all that to
Right.
me is out the door. I look at pretty much ERA.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're giving up runs, that's a problem, and if you're not, you're good.
Yeah. I mean,
But I'm good with Phillips being the closer.
I am.
I love Trinan coming back. I love Gratterall coming back. Here's a question for you. Gratterall throws a billion miles an hour with
Yep.
movement. Why does he get hit?
yeah, I don't
He
know.
should never give up a hit.
Right. Right.
This guy is insanely good, and he gives up hits. I don't know why.
I don't know either. I don't know if he's
on one of these
pitches or what he's doing, but
we'll have to get a guest on to talk. Maybe a Para or Pomar or somebody can help us with that.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to because I don't get it.
Yeah, actually, you know what? This will be. I think we're going to try and drop this on YouTube. If you know why Gratterall's not as good as he should be, drop us a comment.
Yeah,
how about that?
Let
First
us know.
Podcast.
I'm
and click the subscribe button. Whoa.
Yeah,
that's what the kids say.
Let's do it. Let's do it. No,
40 minutes into this podcast, and I'm like, hey, click subscribe.
Well, this is the first one. We're feeling our way through this.
Yeah, that's right.
But I love the pitching staff as a whole.
Yeah.
So they're first in baseball in ERA, I think, as a pitching staff. First in wins, WHIP, batting average against. They're all number one in that.
Well, and offensively too. I mean, the run differential is like plus 269, and the next one's like not even 200.
Yeah, plus 269 is crazy.
Yeah, so they're hitting the ball. They're pitching well. Again, they're favorites to win the World Series. Let's say the Dodgers don't win the World Series. Who does? Who's your next best bet?
I hate to say I like Houston.
Really? You think Houston's the team, huh?
They're heating up.
Yeah.
I like them a lot.
Banging trash cans?
Banging trash cans. They're cheaters. I can't stand them. But they're playing good. They're playing good baseball. And, something to be... Although they didn't have a good... Did the Mets lose both against the Yankees?
I don't know. I haven't been following the last couple of days.
They've been pretty hot, but with their pitching...
Well, I think you're looking at Dodgers, Mets, Yankees, Astros, Braves got to be in that mix.
Blue Jays
are probably, that's second tier.
Do they have the pitching?
Nah, Manoah's about it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. Don't pass that Audi sign if you're going against Manoah. I don't know if you guys
was
caught
good stuff.
that. Garrett Cole and Manoah got a little feud going.
I mean, it was there. Cole could have just walked out to him if he really wanted to.
Yeah, I think he didn't want no smoke, as the kids say. All right, what else do we have? So we have the wild card. Hold on. We're getting into the wild card situation here. The Padres make the splash of the century getting Juan Soto, and they cannot seem to win a game.
They're
third right now in the wild card spot.
They're
right?
third in the wild card, so they have
spot.
that spot by a game and a half. But it just kills me that we're playing the Brewers right now because we're holding the Brewers back from taking over the Padres.
If you're the Dodgers, do you dump a couple games here?
I mean, you can't. You're not going to, but I mean, geez, you got to think about it, right?
I don't think you do. I think you just play it out and you
you can't do it, but
because what happens if you get in the playoffs and you play the Brewers and then they beat you?
Sure.
And you could have been playing the Padres because you let the Brewers in. I mean, I think you play your game.
You can't ever do it. We obviously we kid about it, but theoretically, I mean, it just the Brewers should have already overtaken them if they haven't played. This will be Game 6 against the Dodgers in 10 days?
Yeah.
So, man, I don't. Do you think they can catch them?
I think the Brewers can catch them. I think the Padres are going to catch fire soon. I think they have to,
right?
I think they're totally underplaying how they should be playing. And baseball is a game of averages. And over 162 games season, you are going to have slumps. You're going to get hot, and the Padres are due to get hot. And if they don't, they just don't. But I think they have to. I don't see a team with that much talent. And listen, as much as I hate the Padres, they're a very, very, very talented team.
They are.
I don't see a team like that underperforming this long.
Right.
Eventually, the game of averages will play out.
Right.
I think they'll end up getting maybe even the second wild card spot.
I mean, they got to get Hader right. Wouldn't you think? I mean, that's...
Well, I mean, what's the problem there? So we talked about Gratterall. What's Hader's problem?
He just all of a sudden very hittable.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know how that happens. Our ball's not moving? Is his pitchability not there? Is he just throwing the wrong pitches at the wrong time?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Tipping pitches?
That's I don't know, man.
Somebody for a better expert than I.
Yeah, we're up for those comments. Anybody that knows.
So what else do you have for baseball? Anything
American
else?
League. Let's. So two of the. I don't know if they're surprises to everybody, but Seattle and Baltimore.
Definitely surprises to me.
Baltimore is out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I've been saying for about 2 years now, ever since, I guess, whenever they drafted Adley Rutschman.
Yeah.
I said, all right, this is a team that's had enough number one picks, early first round picks, that they should be making noise soon, a la Houston, 2014, 15, somewhere in there. 2013, I guess. I think they're kind of taking that same mold.
Yeah.
And they've got young talent. I mean, the Cedric Mullins kid is great. Rutschman's playing out of his mind. I don't think they're there yet.
Nope.
I'd said that about the Cubs in 2016, though. I didn't think they were there yet, and they won the World Series.
Yeah.
I don't think Baltimore's there yet, but look out for them in 2025, 26.
Yeah,
they're going to be...
good young pitching.
That AL East is going to be something legit.
They traded... I think his name is Jorge Lopez, was their closer.
Okay.
And they traded him to Minnesota, and I'm like, well, they must be packing it in. Like, that's their best bullpen guy. They bring out this guy, and I can't remember what his last name is. I don't know. I'll have to look up his name, but man, he is a flamethrower. And he's I don't think he's given up a run since the trade. He's been in the closer role.
Yeah, it's
Batista.
wild.
I think his last name is Batista. Man, he's 6'4". Just it's unbelievable.
Yeah, so Baltimore will be fun to watch. Obviously, rooting for them. Seattle.
I like Seattle. I like Julio Rodriguez.
This kid Rodriguez, man, he came on the map for the home run derby.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah, he it was unfortunately he hurt his wrist in the home run derby and had to sit. He sat for quite a while, tried to come back and then sat again. So I hope that he can stay healthy.
So same question with Seattle. Do they have the rotation? Do they have the pitching to get them where they need to get?
I love the Castillo move.
Yeah. Oh, that was huge.
That's your top end.
Took him away from the Dodgers. I thought Dodgers might get him.
I thought so too. And on the flip side of that, how bad has Montas struggled with the Yankees?
Yeah, I mean that was another
I wanted
one.
him bad.
Well, what's funny is we had him.
Yeah,
he went to Oakland in a trade a couple of years ago, and then we almost had him back. And man, he has really not done well.
Yeah,
but
that's
we'll see how he turns out. But and again, it's small sample size. What's he pitching? 3 games, maybe. With the Yankees?
Something like that. Toronto and Seattle are right now have that last wild card spot. They're tied for the last 2 spots.
Tampa's up there, right? Aren't they one of the spots?
Tampa has the top wild card spot. They're a half game ahead of Toronto and Seattle.
Okay.
Who are 2.5 games ahead of Baltimore.
Yeah. All right. So
you think anybody behind Baltimore's out of it? 4 games behind is out of it?
Well, listen. I mean, anything can happen. Will the White Sox make a run? I doubt it. Can Minnesota make a run? I doubt it. But I think Boston's out of it. They're 7 games out.
Yeah.
I don't see them making it up. So I would say those 3 spots are going to go to those 4 teams. I mean, you got Tampa Bay, Toronto, Seattle, and Baltimore.
Yeah.
3 of those 4 will be making the playoffs.
Yeah. Minnesota
guess.
maybe makes some noise, but I doubt it. 4 back. And how about old friend Chris Woodward for Dodgers getting fired? That was he.
Well, one of the reasons why Seager signed with the Rangers was because of Woodward, and now he's gone. So you sign this massive long-term deal with a team, and you're like, shit, the guy that I came here to play under is not here anymore. I guess I just keep cashing checks and smile.
Yeah, I mean, he. It feels like though Woodward severely underperformed with. I mean, Simeon, Chris Seager, Adolis Garcia. I don't know if you follow him at all, but I follow him. Man, that kid is.
Well, I mean, they had a great team on paper, and then you looked at them, and you're like, all right, they can make a run in a very weak division. Maybe there's something there, and they just. Yeah, I say very weak. I mean, the Astros are there, but.
But they run away from it, and then it's everybody else.
Right. But anyway, I don't know. Anything else about Major League Baseball, the playoffs? Any teams?
I don't think so. Is there anything else you wanted to cover?
I don't think so. I got notes up here that I'm not really looking at. Yankees slumping. Are they going to continue to slide? And
they can't, right? They can't.
Well, just like I said about the Padres, it's a long season, and I think as your sample size expands, you regress or you promote or whatever you call it to the mean. Advance to the mean. I think the Yankees will start getting it together.
Yeah. So let's just real quick. We'll touch on all the divisions. And see what you think about the playoff race. We'll call the Dodgers race for the division over. 18.5 games. That's done.
They have a bigger lead on San Diego than most teams have on the bottom team in their division.
I saw that the other day. That's awesome. So Mets Braves, that's going to be fun. 2 games.
I think the Mets end up winning that. The Braves will be a wild card. But I think the Mets I've got the Mets. So I asked you if the Dodgers don't win the World Series, who wins it? You said Houston. I think the Mets.
Yeah,
I think the Mets are the second best team in the National League, I think they've got a big gap on, not on the numbers, not on the wins.
Yeah,
but I'm telling you, I think talent-wise, the Mets are really, really good.
I could see that.
Yep,
I could see that. Central, St. Louis is leaving Milwaukee 5.5. That's probably.
Yeah, St. Louis has gotten really hot lately. Pujols, old man Al, all of a sudden, he's 22-year-old self again.
Yeah.
But, I think St. Louis wins that. I think Milwaukee is, they're fighting for that last wild card spot.
I just think Milwaukee ran into playing. It was 7 games with the Dodgers in like 12 days or something like that, and just running into the best team in baseball when you're in a.
They won a couple though.
They did. They
did.
Won
4-0 the other night.
But.
Yeah.
I mean, they've lost more than they've won. So running into that in the middle of a pennant race or whatever is not a good thing.
Yep. What do you got in the AL?
Yankees 8 games up on the East. That's over probably.
Yeah, probably. Again, I think the Yankees turn it back on, and I think 8 games is about what they win the division by.
8.5 over Toronto.
Yeah.
Baltimore. 4 teams from that division could make the playoffs.
That's wild.
4 teams.
Wild. Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, AL Central. Minnesota 3 back of Cleveland.
Yeah, I think Cleveland wins it. Minnesota, again, we talked about Minnesota. I don't think they catch up. I mean, they could catch Cleveland, I guess, but I think Cleveland probably wins that division.
Yeah.
And then loses in the first. I mean, listen, I don't think Cleveland's very good either.
I'm not super versed on what Minnesota's bullpen looks like, but I think their pitching is just not going to be enough.
Yeah.
But I see Buxton just got hurt.
Yeah,
so he's out for 10 days minimum. That's going to hurt. White Sox 4 games back.
Nope. Nah, La Russa's lost that. I'm telling you, man.
It's
again on paper they should be great.
Yeah.
You got Grandal back. I mean, you got so many guys. Tim Anderson.
Is it a thing where there's just so much disconnect between the 80-year-old manager and the?
I mean, dude, when you're taking naps in the dugout, come on, man.
I mean, I don't know this, but he has to have one of the youngest rosters, right? I mean,
yeah, it's a young team, and it's. I hate to say it like this, but culturally, it's just a completely different team than what La Russa. This is not the Bash Brothers of the '80s,
right?
I mean, this is Fast and Furious and slash and gun and this White Sox team is not your grandfather's team, and I think. Not to get too philosophical here, but I think that you need a guy that understands that. You need a player manager like a Dave Roberts or somebody in there that can let this team just let loose. And I think that he restricts them. I really do.
Yeah.
But it's just,
I could see that.
My take.
Yeah, so, and then Houston's obviously 11.5 up. They're done.
Yeah, that
Seattle's in second. Up. So Seattle maybe. I'd love to. Is Seattle the longest playoff drought in baseball?
I think so.
I think so.
Man,
I'd like to see them get in.
A long time. Was the last time they made it when they won like 114 games?
It could have been. Yeah, like a ridiculous amount of games.
Yeah, I was like a little kid when that happened.
So let's do one more quick basic. You got anything else you want to cover?
I'm done on baseball.
So let's do worst team in baseball right now. Is it Washington, Detroit, Oakland?
Well,
Oakland has to be the worst franchise, right?
Oakland is the worst franchise. I just saw something the other day that their AAA team averages more attendance than their Major League team.
I watched that when we first came in here, and they had so much talent.
Yeah, I mean, it's that whole small ball mentality. Well, we're a small market team. We can't afford to pay
money ball.
Complete bullshit.
Yep.
I mean, listen, these guys are hundreds of millions of dollars in value, billions of dollars in value for every one of these owners. Don't tell me the highest paid player on your team should be $2.5 million.
Yeah.
It's complete garbage.
Yeah.
I just hate it. I hate it. I hate it for the fan base. I hate it for A's fans. I hate it for any fan of a small market team, a Pirates fan. We talked to Mike Young. I feel so bad for guys like that to follow these teams. I would leave my team. Again, being a Dodger fan, it's easy to say, but if my team was spending a grand total of $20 million a year on salaries, I would screw them. I'm out.
Have the Pirates done less with more than any team? I mean, if you... I want to put together a roster for the next podcast we had of the guys they've gotten rid of.
Oh my God, man! Detroit has. We'll give them the run for their money, but yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, these guys that they had. I mean, they are quite literally the minor leagues of major league teams.
Yeah,
they're pumping out all this talent and not retaining them. Now, let me ask you something. Tampa does this, and they're in a playoff hunt every single year in one of the toughest divisions of baseball.
Yeah.
Okay, why can't Pittsburgh do it in the shitty NL Central?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes no sense. Why can't Oakland do it? Again, they're in the AL West. Houston's going to run it. But, I mean, Seattle.
There's no reason they can't
Angels,
be up there with the wild card
come on,
teams.
Man.
Yep.
Come on. Make some moves. Do something with your front office. Billy Beane, man. 25 years may be too long. Maybe it's time to go, buddy. Moneyball's over.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mentioned Washington, too. They actually have a really good overall program that they just won, so they're kind of going in a different direction. So
they're not the Oaklands of bad teams.
Yeah.
They are we won the World Series. We had a lot of guys that we had to pay. We're letting them go. We're building our farm system, and I think they have a top 5 farm system right now in Major League Baseball.
And in fairness, they try, and thanks to Soto. They tried to pay him, and he walked. So. Not a lot you could do there.
They got something for Rendon. They got did Harper, was he a free agent? Or did they get something for him? I think he was a free agent.
I think he was free agent, but they got something for Trey, right? What did we Josiah Gray, right?
Yeah, and the catcher.
Oh yeah, Kybert Ruiz. Yeah.
So I mean, listen, they're getting guys for their guys, and they're building. And listen, Washington's going to be fine in a couple of years. I'm not worried about them. But these chronically bad teams, the Pittsburghs and the Oaklands of the major leagues, something's got to happen, man. I mean, listen, maybe it's contraction.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I know they're trying to get to 32 teams, but I don't know. But this is just not good for baseball.
Yeah.
Period.
No. Yep. I agree. And so 2 other things to cover real quick. I think we should cover before next week. or 2 weeks, however, whenever we decide to do this. Do you think Pujols gets to 700 this year?
I don't think he gets to 700, but I think he gets to 696, which is Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And so I think he'll pass him.
Yeah.
I think he's going to live in that 698, 699
Yeah.
number, which sucks because I really want to see the guy get
Yeah.
700. I love Old Man Al. I've always really liked the guy.
Yeah. Well, we really took to him. I mean, we've always liked him, but last year was
I spent a season and a half with the Dodgers.
so good in the clubhouse.
Yeah, he's just a fun guy. I want to see him at 700. And listen, if he stays hot for the next 40 games, I guess it could happen. But I first he's got to get past A-Rod, which I think could happen, and I hope it does.
I guess they went on a run where there was 7 or 8 lefty pitchers in a row that they faced, and they're not going to do that. It's like now it's like another 2 weeks before they face a lefty starter, so it's
he's
going to
sit the bench, which sucks.
And you saw he had his best numbers against lefties of his whole career in the last 10 days. It's been unbelievable. And then Angels looking to sell maybe Artie Moreno.
Artie Moreno getting rid of the team. Listen, Oakland, Pittsburgh, take note.
Yeah.
If you can't put a consistently winning team on the field, fucking sell them.
Yep.
Like, goodbye.
Yep.
And listen, as much as I don't like the Angels and I don't like Moreno, I respect it that he's willing to sell them because I think he realizes he can't do it. So anyway,
he should definitely dump Ohtani to the Dodgers, right?
That would be nice. Well, listen, I think recently. You see teams like the Mets get sold, they spend money. The Dodgers got sold, spent money. So the Angels are going to sell. Hopefully the new owner comes in. And again, I don't like the Angels, but nothing would be better for baseball for them to spend money, retain the talent, build something. They're always going to be the number 2 team in Southern California. But listen, put some money into it. Put a winning team on the field. Listen, I think it's a smart move.
I thought they had a shot at being a playoff team this year. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was Joe Madden or what, but picking up Syndergaard.
They've had like 4 managers.
Yeah.
Which one do you blame?
Yep.
Well, anyway, so was that it for Major League Baseball?
We could go all day, but we better stop it there. We'll be here till tonight.
All right, next up, we're finally going to get to some local sports. Here we go. .772 Sports is brought to you by the Higgins Home Group. Let the tag team of Mike and Vicky Higgins help you either find your dream home or sell your current home for top dollar. The Higgins Home Group is one of Dale Sorensen Real Estate's premier real estate teams. Give them a call at 772-532-8148. Treasure Coast Chatter. All right, for our very first Treasure Coast Chatter segment, we're going to do a little Friday Night Lights. High school football here in the Treasure Coast is about to get started. They had the what do they call it? Preseason. They used to be the Jamboree. Kickoff Classic.
Yeah.
We had Vero play Boca.
Yep.
And won 34-3. We had John Carroll play Port St. Lucie and won 34-0. Again, just full disclosure for you guys, we're pretty close to both of those programs. Not as close with Sebastian or some of the Fort Pierce programs. So we're going to talk more about Vero and John Carroll than we do anybody else. So if you're looking for Fort Pierce Central news, sorry, probably not going to be able to give it to you.
Right.
If you're looking for Westwood or Treasure Coast or any of these guys, St. Ed's, we don't really know those programs all that well. But we are going to talk a little bit about Vero and John Carroll.
I do know St. Ed's has a nice little quarterback this year. That's going to be.
Is that the Redmond kid?
Yeah, Redmond.
Yeah,
I've seen some stuff about him. So they're going to be.
Well,
they
played a game the other night. I just don't know who they played.
Yeah, I don't know.
What the final score was.
I don't know anything about. I just know Redmond is a little baller.
He was. I'll tell you what. Baseball wise, again, I can't speak football, but baseball wise, he was.
Yeah.
He's a stellar baseball player.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's still playing. And again, he's at at St. Ed's playing quarterback. And again, I have seen numbers that look pretty good. So
yeah. We'll
have to follow him now. Now we got to follow him.
We'll touch on some of the stuff. We'll try to touch on as much as we can for the other teams, but this is what we know. So
yeah. So Vero played Boca. They won 34-3. Mike, you were there.
I was there.
Let's talk a little bit about what you saw.
It looked good. It was a kickoff classic, so a lot of people played. A lot of kids played. I don't know. I do know the starting quarterback's Tyler Aronson. You told me that he's a transfer.
So I heard from someone, and again, this is definitely how the rumors start, but that he came from New Mexico.
Yeah,
and again, I don't know the background on that, if that's even true, but
it sounds right. I don't remember him on the roster from last year. I try to follow as much as I can, but he threw a couple touchdown passes. He looks nice. He's actually committed. I'm a big recruiting guy to SMU, which is.
Yeah. So what kind of NIL money got involved there?
I don't know, man. I don't know anything about that, but he looked good. And the kid that is committed to FSU, is it Van Trevius Jacobs?
Yep.
Is that how,
I don't know how you say his name, but Jacobs, the wide receiver, wears number 1.
Yep. He was really good, man. He made a nasty catch over the middle.
You tweeted that, or you retweeted it somewhere.
Yeah, he made a nasty catch over the middle, and he was pumped. He got up, he spiked the ball, not at a play or not. He was just pumped. He got up, first game of the year, and they flagged him for it and called it back. But it was a nasty catch, man. He's going to be good. I like the direction Vero's heading. Hopefully we'll be able to get, I know a couple people that are pretty tight with Coach Jankowski, so hopefully we'll be able to get him on.
Yeah, we figured that we do a couple of these podcasts and maybe get some, figure out if we're actually good at this or not, and then maybe we'll start getting some guests.
So you got any info on JC, John Carroll, or? Not
a ton. I called Coach Mickey Grudy. Again, I hope that he's one of our guests in one of these things. But, he's pumped for the year. He lost Jay Allen. Of course, Jay Allen got drafted in baseball to the Reds. But he's very excited. They're number 1 in their district and rankings.
Very nice.
And again, so the districting or the region.
I did want to touch that.
I'm going to screw up on this vernacular a little bit, but ever since we were little kids, there was 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, and how they distribute teams in each of these rank 1A, 2A, or whatever is based on your total student enrollment.
Right.
Okay? So Vero always had surpassed the highest student enrollment to be at whether it was 6A, if that was the highest, or 7A if it was the highest. Lately it's been 8A, but they've completely flipped this on its head now, and you have suburban and metropolitan districts. So you have 1S, 2S, 3S, 4S for suburban, and then you have 1M, 2M, 3M, 4M for metropolitan, and then you actually have a 1R for rural. Vero is now in the 4S district.
Suburban,
not district, I'm sorry, the region.
Suburban, yeah.
And then they're District 12. So we're in with, I don't know if you know the teams off the top of your head, Mike, and we could probably just look it up. But
I can look it up.
Yeah, so Vero, again, is in the highest student enrollment number that you can be. They're 4S. But that takes them out, from what my understanding, that takes them out of having to play the Miamis and the Orlandos and
so I think teams. It's West Palm north to Vero. Is that kind of how the district's set up? I know it's Florida. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, it's going to take us some time to figure this out.
I'm on John Carroll. It said 1S. I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah, John Carroll's 1S, and that makes sense. I mean, their student enrollment's not incredibly high.
Private.
And they're private and all that.
Yeah.
But, so Vero's 4S. And actually, we just found this out. Sebastian is not anything.
They're an independent? Is that what it is?
The Notre Dame of high school football now? I mean, they just don't have a classification. So their season
funny story. We looked for them everywhere for like 30 minutes at lunch last week, and we couldn't find them anywhere. And finally, Curtis stumbled across it that they're independent somehow. I don't know what that means, or if they're in transition to a division or what. But
my understanding is they play their season ends. There's no playoffs. There's no state playoffs. There's no state championship opportunity for them. I feel bad for the kids.
Why? I don't know. Why?
Yeah, well, maybe we can figure that out this week, or somebody listening can tell us. Throw it in the comments.
Yeah, so they're in the West Palm Beach division, it seems like. So they play West Palm North, which makes sense. They have South Fork this week.
This is Vero.
Yes.
Yep.
Palm Beach Gardens. Let me see, pulling the schedule up. Palm Beach Gardens, Port St. Lucie, Westwood, Palmetto. So they do play Miami. That's a Miami team, Palmetto.
Really? So that's bizarre to me that Palmetto is not in one of the metropolitan districts.
Yep. Wellington, Centennial, Martin County, Treasure Coast. So they don't. I hate that we lose, maybe because we lose the Sebastian River Vero game.
Well, they won't play each other at all.
No, they're not on the schedule here.
Oh, trash.
Yeah,
I love that Vero Sebastian little rivalry. I love it more in baseball. And again, for this is our first podcast for those guys listening. We'll really cover high school baseball a lot when the season rolls around, come late January. And we'll do a little bit with girls lacrosse. I know the booster there really well, and all these other sports. Again, not super educated on high school football, but we're getting there.
Yeah,
we're getting there.
No, we know enough. We love football, so I love recruiting. I love following the high school stuff. So we'll definitely cover it. Yeah. I can't wait to see what Coach Mickey has to say about the program. I'm excited to see what they can do this year. The year after Jay Allen, who he had a scholarship to play at Florida, right?
Play baseball
a bunch of places
at Florida, but he wasn't going to play football there.
He was just going for baseball.
Yep.
And decided on the Reds instead.
Yeah, well, you get $2.4 million or whatever it is.
That'll do it.
Might sway my opinion too.
Yeah, I've never met a more humble kid though. He is great.
I met him a handful of times. Had lunch with him a couple of times, and I'm telling you, he was 18 going on 30. I mean, he's just a very mature kid.
Yep.
Playing up in Dayton right now for the Dayton Dragons. They're the high A team for the Cincinnati Reds.
So how long ago did he move up from Daytona?
Just last week.
Last week?
Yeah, he was
I
playing
saw
for the Daytona Tortugas this whole season, and they just moved him up last week.
Yeah. So I know Coach Parra did a lot, was a big influence on his life. So says something for Coach there.
Yeah, and, he's first round pick. I mean, compensatory round, but first round. And, Cincinnati's going to take care of this kid. They're going to make sure that he does well. And I don't think they're going to have to try hard. Again, he's a good kid. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But,
we'll do some research on the football players, though, and next week we'll kind of cover it more. But the two players I know, Tyler Aronson and Jacobs from Vero, keep an eye on those kids, man. The offense is going to be really good.
Yeah, so that's going to do it on the high school football front on our Treasure Coast Chatter. And up next is going to be a little college football for you. College Football Gridiron Gab. All right, now we're going to talk a little college football here. We're going to do some analysis, some synopsis, and we're also going to get into our first pick'ems.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Football's right around the corner, Mike.
Excited.
Are you excited?
That's. I don't know if it's right up there with Dodger baseball, man.
So Mike is the biggest Miami Hurricane fan I think I know.
Yeah.
I'm a Florida State fan. I'm not as big on college football as Mike is, but this is definitely going to be his
knowledgeable nonetheless.
So all right. So college football, Miami.
Yep.
How are they going to do this year?
I like them, man. I like them a lot. Not. I'll try to take all the homerism out of it for this, but Mario Cristobal is going to be gigantic for them. It's already shown in recruiting. I mean, he had a top 10 recruiting class coming in real late the end of last season. But I think one of the big things about this year is, even though maybe you don't follow it so close, is Tyler Van Dyke is going to be he's going to be a front runner for Heisman. So
it's wild to me that Miami is back on and again, I hate Miami. I mean, full disclosure, I cannot stand the Hurricanes.
It's
wild to me that they're going to be back. I mean, like it looks like they're going to be a really good team this year.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned with their running back depth. They had a stud freshman coming in. He got hurt. He's out for the year. Trevante Citizen, and a kid named Don Chaney Jr., who's from down in Miami. This was going to be his junior year. He got hurt too, so he's only going to miss 4 or 5 games. So they only have like 3 healthy scholarship running backs. Hoping to get Don Chaney back before Texas A&M, but the first 3 are kind of cupcake-ish, so we'll see how that goes. Excited about Van Dyke, though. I got to meet him a few weeks ago, and he is super down to earth. He was here for Sean O'Dare's deal that he had, a little football camp. A couple of the players were here, so that was nice. He would talk with Jake, my son Jake, chatted him up for a few minutes, so that was really cool.
Yeah, it's exciting when the kids get to meet, kind of their, I don't want to say their idols, but, people that they get to look up to and watch on TV every Saturday and all that. And it's cool when they're, like you said, down to earth and good kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. So we're going into season this weekend. What's your expectations for Florida State?
I have none. I always, lately, since Jimbo left, I've always had 0 expectations. If they go 2-9 or whatever, 2 wins to equal their 12 games, it's fine. I do expect them to be a little bit better this year.
Yeah.
I'd like them to be bowl eligible. They haven't been bowl eligible for a while, or they haven't done well.
Yeah, I just what are they? For me, what are they doing at head coach?
Well, Norvell's there.
Premier program. I do not like him at all.
Well, Jimbo kind of, he left the team hanging, right? So he left, and they thought Willie Taggart was the guy, right? Give him all this money. He's, he's where he's going to be. And he just was not good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was simply he wasn't good or if it was Jimbo brought the program down to where he had no shot.
Right.
Either way, I mean, the reality is the team was not where they needed to be.
Yeah.
So Willie Taggart leaves, and then they bring in Norvell. And it's like, this guy has to be the guy because you don't have any money anymore to bail these guys out.
Yeah.
There's really nobody out there that'll take the job at this point if he leaves. So whether you like him, you don't like him, you're stuck with him.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to figure it out.
Yeah, I think he's going to be there for another year, another couple years, unless, like you said, 2 wins is not going. He'll get fired. I mean, but
again, I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I just have no expectations.
Yeah, I think though. I think Norvell's not very good at recruiting. It seems like he's maybe it's just he's not used to recruiting at a national power like that, what it takes, but he just doesn't seem to be very good at
Well,
it.
how do you recruit to a team that gets 5 wins every year?
Yeah.
I mean,
But
if I'm a stud quarterback in the state of Florida and I can go to Miami where Cristobal's there and NIL money from Ruiz is just flowing in,
Yeah.
or I can go to the Gators who traditionally have been pretty good.
SEC, yep.
Yeah, I can play in the SEC. I can play the Alabamas and the Georgias and get
Yep.
seen. Or I can go to Florida State who wins 5 games every year and the head coach may not be there when I'm a senior.
Yeah.
What kind of recruiting power do you have there? So, it's the chicken or the egg. You have to get good before the recruiting, but can you get good if you don't have the recruiting?
Yeah.
Florida State's in a predicament. Now, listen, Jordan Travis is really good.
He is. He's good.
But he's literally got to put this back on his shoulders,
Yeah.
or this team on his shoulders,
Yeah.
and carry this team. Their offensive line issues, hopefully they've been solved.
I think you guys got another first round D lineman too. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but
it's so funny, man.
every
That's
year.
the only position that they consistently get guys at.
Yeah.
And they used to be DBU, right?
Yeah.
We get DBU. Now it's D-line U.
I don't know what Norvell's going to do. I think he's got another year or two if this is disastrous, but I think they're going to have to open the checkbook for Deion Sanders.
Well, I mean, the rumor was always Deion took that Jackson State job, and that was hopefully will get him higher. And Jackson State, I mean, they had the number one
recruit in the country.
That's
Travis
wild.
Hunter. Yeah,
the Division II. I mean, this is like a joke of a team.
I can't believe he did that to Florida State.
Yeah, well,
it was FSU all the way till the end, and then Deion took him.
Yeah, well, I mean, NIL again. NIL has changed everything.
And whether you believe him or not, he said there was no NIL money involved. I've got to call BS on that.
I don't believe it. I mean, listen, going to play for Deion is great. Don't get me wrong. Playing for Deion Sanders would be really cool, but come on, man.
Yeah.
Money talks.
Yeah.
So, all right. So here's my question for you. What will the NCAA do to fix what I perceive to be a massive problem in these NIL deals?
It's just so hard to regulate it, right? Like, what do you do?
I don't know. I call it the net income league. the NCAA is now the net income league. How much net income am I getting from my NIL deals?
I saw the other day that a ton of these presidents and chancellors and board of directors and all these people are meeting to just completely do away with the NCAA altogether.
Wow.
And just separate.
Wow, that would be huge.
Yeah.
So I think that you could do things. You could put some sort of a salary cap on it.
Yeah.
You can limit how many guys can get on NIL deals and so on and so forth. Again, you're going to have arguments and you're going to have fights and legal battles and all that stuff. But the reality is, the NCAA for years said you can't pay athletes.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
They can change it. The question is, what's the right way to do it?
Yeah. I think first of all, you should have to have something to promote. Right? Like, so you should have to have a business like John Ruiz's Life Wallet.
Yeah, well.
Now, he's a billionaire just throwing money at him. He doesn't really care about Life Wallet, but I think you should have some kind of a product that you have to promote.
But every single one of these programs has a booster that owns a company that you could promote.
So do it make them do commercials or something. Like, I've seen all of the Miami kids are starting to do commercials and actually doing stuff for the money they're making.
Right.
Now,
but I mean,
that's not really for the money. That's not what it's for, but you know what I mean? Like, make them have to do something.
Make them at least pretend that it's for real money and it's serious.
Yeah, that'll make us happy.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's a problem. I mean, you saw Nick Saban come out and say that Texas A&M literally bought every single one of their players, and then that got into an issue with Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban. And, there's got to be a solution there.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know what it is. I don't even pretend to know what it is.
No, yeah, I got really depressed yesterday because I saw Nick Saban signed on through 2030 now.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like, we finally got Cristobal. We could start, but nope. Alabama's still going to come down to Miami and take whatever they want.
Yeah, well, they've got the greatest recruiting tool ever, just to say, hey, you can come here. And you're going to be in the NFL if you play here and you're a starter. So
what are you thinking about UF this year? Napier.
I don't know much about the program. I don't know much about the team this year. My guess is that they'll be good. They're always good. They're going to get hampered by the Alabamas and the Georgias of the world, but they're going to run. They're going to beat who they need to beat.
I think Florida State and Florida is going to be a little more interesting than Gator fans would have you believe.
Well, I hope so. I hope you're right.
If Jordan Travis stays healthy, he's an X factor. He can run with the football. He gets a little wild throwing it sometimes. But we'll see.
I mean, listen, from your mouth to God's ears, I hope you're right.
Football's better when Florida State, Miami are all good.
They need to all be top 10 teams again, and that hasn't happened in 25 years. But, it looks like, at least from Miami's side, Miami is getting there. Napier might bring the Gators there. And again, Florida State has no choice. It's got to be Norvell or it's nobody.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. But, Yeah, I'm hoping all three Florida teams are good this year.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, we'll see.
yeah.
Anything else you're looking for from college football? I'm looking at realignment. I'm really interested to see what happens there. Like, is it going to be all SEC, Big Ten? Is it going to end up being two big power conferences?
Yeah, I think that everybody seems to be moving away. The ACC will be gone, I think. Big 12 probably won't be around too much longer. You got a lot of these teams moving from these conferences. I don't know about the Pac-10.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's wild. So we'll see how it all formulates. But I think that we're a few years away from seeing any major
they all have certain contracts they have to get through and stuff. Yeah. But just remember, on this podcast, Tyler Van Dyke is going to be a Heisman finalist.
You heard it here first, August 24th.
He has to be for Miami to be able to do anything. You got anything else you want to cover? You want to do some pick'em?
Let's do some pick'ems.
Let's.
I have not researched a single one of these games. So
nope. I wrote all these down. This is just for the first 2 weeks, and there's not a lot of heavy games in there, but we'll just have fun. We'll pick the Florida teams, the big 3 games every week, and then do a couple select top 25. So this is from 2 weekends because we won't meet before.
Yeah, I think our next podcast will be September 6th or something.
So after that first big weekend of college football. So Duckwins versus, is it Duckwins? Is that how you say it? Duquesne versus FSU.
If Florida State doesn't win that, then they will win 2 games this year. So I'll say Florida State.
I got them too.
Right.
Another good game for the first weekend is Vandy versus Hawaii. Vandy's -8.
Yeah, I think Vandy wins that. I don't know if they cover, but Vandy's going to win that game.
Yep, we're the same on that. Yep. Nebraska Northwestern. Nebraska's a pretty heavy favorite.
Nebraska's supposed to be back.
That's what I hear.
Cornhuskers are back.
That's what I hear. The big linemen.
Yeah, let's go. Those corn-fed Cornhuskers.
Yes, sir.
Let's see what happens. I got Nebraska.
All right, let's do West Virginia versus Pitt. Pitt's favored by a touchdown.
I'll take the favorite there. I'm probably playing the chalk here, Mike.
I'm going to take West Virginia on that one.
Oh my God!
I'm going to take West Virginia over Pitt. I think they're really, really overrated this year.
Okay, we'll see. Go Panthers.
Obviously, Bethune-Cookman versus Miami.
Joke of a game.
Come on.
Miami's going to win by 100.
Come on. It's that first game. Now we get into some good ones. Number 11, Oregon versus number 3, UGA. Georgia. 17.5 favorites.
I'm going to play Georgia. I'm going to bet Georgia, pick them until they lose.
Absolutely.
I think they win out.
I'm with you. I think they're good. They're really good. Number 23, Cincy versus number 19, Arkansas. Arkansas's favored by 6.5.
Yeah, Arkansas. I'm usually going to pick the SEC in games like that.
I'm going Cincy on that.
Really?
I love Luke Fickell, man.
Okay.
Good coach.
All right.
Coach. I think Cincy's going to have something to say again this year. Here's a good one. Number 7, Utah versus University of Florida.
Well, I think Florida's going to come out 0-1. I'm going to take Utah.
Me too.
Yep.
I'm in that. They are a slight favorite, -2.5.
Oh, I think Utah covers. I mean, only 2.5.
2.5 right now. Yep.
Yeah.
And that I'd see that changing though too, within in a week's time. Here's I don't know why they're ranked every year, but so high. But number 5, Notre Dame versus number 2, OSU. 15.5 favorites, OSU.
Yeah, Ohio State's going to win. I don't know if they cover, but they're going to win that game.
I can't, and maybe it's just the name, but every year Notre Dame is ranked in the top 5.
Well, preseason rankings are a joke anyway. Come on, let's be real. But
get people to watch, right?
I guess.
So we're good on that one. And then big one for FSU, week 2. We won't convene again before that, so we got to ask now. FSU versus LSU.
Oh, it's in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's not in the Bayou, but
LSU's -3, so not a heavy favorite.
LSU's going to win and cover.
Yeah.
So Florida State's going to be 1-1 by the time we meet again.
I think so. But I want to see what Jordan Travis has. I'm eager to see what Jordan Travis.
Well, I'm glad that he's got a cushion game.
Yeah.
Duquesne first. Let's see what we can do. Let's make some adjustments, and then you get into LSU.
You just hope he plays a half and that stays healthy. Everybody stays healthy.
Yep.
I mean, you hate to lose somebody going into a big season, big game. Number 4, Clemson versus Georgia Tech. This didn't have a line on it. I assume Clemson's probably going to smash them.
I got Clemson.
The only thing that kept Georgia Tech kind of close in some of these games was when they ran that Wildcat triple option type thing, and they've gone away from that now.
Yeah, I mean, it's Clemson.
So
they're top 5 team. Clemson's good. Dabo's always going to put out a quality. Well, I guess last year he didn't, but they're usually going to put out a quality product. And I think they're going to be Georgia.
I think we see Dabo for another year or two in college football, and he's either bouncing to the NFL or going to take a little more high profile job than Clemson maybe.
Yeah, but at one point Clemson was the job.
That was.
I mean, now the boosters poured money into that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Clemson's the pinnacle of the ACC.
Yeah.
I know that's like saying I'm the best Little League team.
I mean, there's some the ACC's top heavy, but there is some good programs there.
Yeah.
And Clemson's always competitive with the SEC. So,
Yep. Well, we'll see how that shakes out.
yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to the season and seeing how our pick'ems shake out.
All right, so that's our pick'ems. Do we have anything else for college?
I think we're good. If you want to maybe do, I've already said who my Heisman favorite is. If you want to maybe give me a name.
Jordan Travis going to win the Heisman.
That means he didn't look it up.
No, I didn't look it up. I didn't research. I don't know who's going to win the Heisman this year. But
Yeah.
Van Dyke. No,
Yeah, there you go. See? We're turning him into a Miami guy.
Yeah, I got to get on that train.
Yeah, man. No, I'm good. I look forward to the season and getting it going.
All right,
Go Canes.
Up next, Factor Cap. Fact or cap? All right, I think at the end of every podcast, we're going to do a little factor cap. This is real quick. This segment won't be long. I'm going to ask Mike some questions. Is it true or false, or as the kids say, factor cap? Mike will ask me some questions, and we'll see who's right. So, to start off the factor cap, Mike, Padres make the wild card. Factor cap.
I want to say cap, but I can't. It's got to be fact. Like you talked about earlier, they're just too good of a team to keep sliding. And I think Milwaukee's running into a little bit of a tough stretch. So I think fact. I think Padres make the wild card.
Agree.
So I got one for you. We'll go NFL route. Colts make the playoffs. Yes or no? Fact or cap?
Fact. They win the AFC South. They're going to win 12 games this year.
Hey, so who finishes second in the South? Just
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah, I think so too.
Yep.
I think I like that.
All right, Mike. Factor cap. Miami wins the ACC in football this year.
Fact.
Wow.
Miami wins the ACC Coastal.
Oh, but they're going to lose.
I think they're going to lose to Clemson. I don't think they're quite there yet. If Tyler Van Dyke can't stay healthy and they can get some of their running back depth back, I do think they can make some noise. I have them getting there. I have them going 10-2.
Wow, 10-2.
Yep, 10-2. Regular season losses probably to Texas A&M and Clemson. In the past, Miami would slip up somewhere on North Carolina or Pittsburgh, Florida State. It's always a tough game, so I could see that going to 9 or 3. But I like them getting there. I think Clemson's probably got them this year. Just their depth is going to get them, but wouldn't be surprised.
So we both say cap. They don't win the ACC.
They don't win the whole ACC,
Okay.
no.
All
ACC
right.
Coastal, it's a fact.
Okay.
The whole ACC, it's going to have to be cap.
All right.
Can't have a cap on my team, though.
I hear you.
I'm a homer when it comes to
I
them.
can tell. Tyler Van Dyke going to win the Heisman.
That is legit. Just start reading up on it because that could actually happen.
All right.
All right, I got one for you. So, give me a little bit of, if you have any explanation for this, don't just say cap and end this thing, or fact. FSU, 6 or more wins. Over under. Cap.
All
We'll set it at 6. Is
6 wins. I'm saying, I don't know what fact is 6. I don't see them winning 7.
Yeah.
I don't think they win 5. I think they win 6 games this year.
Bowl eligible?
If they play 11 games,
Yep.
6 wins eligible?
6 wins is there.
6. There you go. Yeah, they make a bowl game this year.
Yeah.
And why I say that is I don't think they're going to be any worse than last year.
Yeah.
So meaning that they can only be better, as good or better.
Yeah.
And I think 6 is where it's at, man. Listen, don't get it twisted. Florida State is not a good football team.
Yeah.
Okay. If they go 9-2 or whatever it is, that would be the biggest surprise in the history of surprises. If they go 2-9, it would be a major disappointment, a big surprise. Again, I come in with 0 expectations, but when I'm put on the spot on factor cap, I'm saying fact 6 wins. That's the number.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, man.
So those are our 4 factor caps. If you've got opinions on that, go ahead and comment. Again, we're going to put this on YouTube somewhere, so make sure you subscribe. You can follow the podcast. It's going to be everywhere the podcasts are available: Apple, Google, Spotify, all that fun stuff.
Yes.
I hope you guys enjoyed. This was fun.
Yeah, we're just filling it out. So give us a couple weeks to really get into this thing. This is my first time on a mic doing anything like this. I know Curtis has some experience, so I'm kind of playing off him. But we love it. And if you have any factor cap questions for us, put them in the comments.
Throw them in the comments. All right.
Follow. And just real quick, if you have. What's the little site everybody's on there?
Twitter.
No. TikTok.
Oh.
Follow Curtis's Yay or Nay. Is it Yay or Nay?
HOF, Yay or Nay.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, we go over players in professional sports, and we ask if there should be Hall of Famers, and then we vote Yay or Nay.
Yep, it's fun. Good stuff. Follow him.
All right, at HOF Yay or Nay on Twitter or TikTok. And then you can follow us on Twitter at 772sports.
There you go.
So that's going to do it from us. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Enjoy it. Go Canes.